over 40, most women, most in 50s, are starting to go through that whole menopause phase, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I'm hearing this all the time. They're sleeping with fans. Now, so what, usually the fan is above us.
Yeah.
And it's drawing all the moisture out of our skin.
I'm not afraid to write a brand new story. And what changes find their way to me, I can keep it moving. I'm not afraid to celebrate my glory. And when challenges grace my path, I know I can face another day. Inside, I rise, daring to learn. With Fox after 40.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Fox After 40, where we focus on women's wellness from head to toe. And today, you guys, we have Sylvia Brown-Lee, who is an esthetician and cosmetologist and expert in the beauty space with us, to talk about skin after 40, how to keep your skin looking youthful as you age. So before we get into it, I would love for Sylvia to give us her background and tell us how she got here, and then we're going to get into all the things that you want to work on with your skin. So Sylvia, tell me, where are you from? What do you do? Well, I told you what you did, but how did you get here? What's your backstory? What were you doing before, and what landed you here with Pure Beauty Bar, correct?
Skin by Brown & Co.
Gotcha.
So, backstory, Pure Beauty Bar was the name.
Okay.
And I rebranded. That's another story. We'll tell that a little bit
Okay,
later.
we'll tell that story. I was like, wait, with the cards. Okay.
So, I am a licensed esthetician. I've been in the beauty industry for 29 years. I always knew I wanted to be in the beauty industry. I just wasn't sure which avenue I wanted to take. So, cosmetology was the best route to go at that time. Immediately after I finished.
Wait, you said 29 years? How old are you? You look great. I was like, wait.
Yeah, I'm 46.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
Your skin looks great.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, now tell us. Now, 30 years in the beauty industry. Did you start in skin?
I started in hair.
Okay.
For literally seconds. I hated it so much. I just knew it wasn't my thing. I just didn't enjoy doing it. I wasn't great at it. And I was like, yeah, this is not it.
Okay.
Then I said, okay, let's see what nails is about. Did nails, was just like, okay, it's nails. But when I did skin, I was like, this is it. And I think I became so passionate about skin because I dealt with skin issues on my own with acne and hyperpigmentation, and no one ever talked about it. Like growing up, it wasn't talked about. My mom had beautiful skin and a red lip. That's what I remember. She had black hair, beautiful skin, and a red lip. And I'm like, something happened. I missed the boat. Genetically, I did not get that flawless skin. So I had to work at it. So once I started doing skin, it just felt natural.
What do you mean you didn't get the flawless skin? What was your skin looking like when you were younger?
When I was younger, it wasn't bad. It was more so in my 20s when I noticed the change. So after I had my daughter, my hormones changed, and that's when I started to see the breakouts. And then, of course, after the breakouts leads to the hyperpigmentation. But nobody talked about like how to clear it. It was just like, you go to the drugstore and you figure it out, like see what works. But there was no guidance.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So what happens next? So you did nails. You was like, nails is nails, and you were really fascinated by skin. So what year is this?
This is 98 actually.
Okay.
And so then I went to work in a big salon for about 10 years where I was doing skincare, but it was more like luxury skincare. So it wasn't really people coming in with problem skin. It was people that had, extra income and just wanted to get that luxury facial.
And what are these facials including? When you go to the facials, they give like 10 products and you're just like, I hope all of these are good and clean, and I'm just counting on you to know that this is a great experience.
Right. Well, these facials were very relaxation facials. So you also did the paraffin dips, you were rubbing feet, and like all the things, face, neck. But the one thing that bothered me the most when I was doing that is we always got education that said, don't do this on skin of color. Be very careful using this on skin of color. And so I'm like, well, that's kind of strange because I am skin of color. And if I can't use it on myself, which is what I do now, anytime I try something new or I want to use a new product or a new treatment, I'm going to do it on myself first, my family.
Why would the product say don't use on skin of color or be careful on skin of color?
It was the education that was given that said, where they told us don't do this on skin of color.
Oh, wow. But like what's in it? Is it something that's going to bleach our skin or?
I think it was just the unknown because they weren't testing these things out on skin of color.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so, I was there for 10 years and I decided, okay, I want to do more. I love what I'm doing. I love the beauty industry, but this is not the end. So, when I left there, you were under a non-compete. So you couldn't take any of your clients with you and you couldn't work within a certain mile radius. So I knew that going in, no problem. It was a great experience. I learned a ton, amazing company. So when I left, I knew I was going to basically be starting over. So after that, 10 years after that, it was 2013. So then I went to manage a couple of salons. I ran a pretty large beauty school. So I wanted to see kind of all avenues of it. Like, let's see where I'm supposed to be. And I still kept feeling like I missed the client interaction, if that makes sense. So at the school, I was the executive director there. About 2 years in, I got a meeting set up with my director who said, we're restructuring and we no longer need you.
Okay.
That is what sent me into entrepreneurship 100%.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, and just for the listeners out there, what's the difference between a dermatologist and an esthetician, and you're focusing on facials and things like that? Just the difference so that we can understand.
Yeah. So a dermatologist is an MD, goes to school for dermatology.
Yeah.
An esthetician goes to school for aesthetics to learn skincare as well, but there are things that we can't do. So there's certain treatments, and it also is based on the state you live in.
Gotcha.
So state by state, there's certain things you can't do unless you're working under an MD.
Gotcha. So if I have an issue with my skin, when do I go to which? Right? When do I go to see an esthetician? When do I go to see a derm?
So estheticians don't deal with anything that concerns like skin cancers.
Okay.
Or any type of growth that you might have. That's definitely something you want to immediately see your dermatologist for. If it's in regards to like acne or hyperpigmentation, rosacea, melasma, those are things estheticians and derms can help with.
So just like aesthetic problems or issues that you might have, but not like life and death type of situation.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah,
That's good to
absolutely.
Know. Okay, wonderful. If you've enjoyed this episode of Fox After 40 and want to get notified about the next episode when it drops, make sure to go to chromix.com and sign up for our mailing list. We'll notify you whenever a new episode comes out. So you left and you jumped into entrepreneurship. What are the issues that you saw that you wanted to fix? What were your patients coming in or your clients coming in? What issues were they having? What was the most common that you were seeing on skin of color?
The most common issue I saw was hyperpigmentation.
And what does that stem from? What are people doing to get that?
Typically, it's considered like post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So after some type of trauma, right?
Oh, well, okay. what kind of trauma? Are you my best friend? Okay.
Right. But I mean, seriously, I've had clients that come in that start breaking out because of stress. So we laugh, but it's really serious. It's true. It can come from a stressful event. It could be a death. It could be you lost your boyfriend, like you lost your job. It could be all kinds of things that cause this acne, which is followed by the hyperpigmentation, right? Or say you're plucking, people have hair under the chin and they tend to pluck. You're causing trauma there. So you see all those dark marks after they've plucked. That's another form of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation.
What about waxing or threading with your eyebrows?
Threading, not a problem. Now with waxing, as we get older, that's tugging at the skin. We never want to be pulling too much on the skin. So I always suggest threading.
Ooh, but that hurts.
I know, but it's quick,
Okay, so when do I got to make that transition to threading versus waxing on my eyebrows?
Well, if I'm your esthetician, you would do it now.
Oh my goodness. Okay. That's so painful.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what other things should we not be doing to the skin that you notice, especially as we start to age that? Because I didn't know about the plucking and I didn't know about the waxing. I wax every month, you know what I mean, on my eyebrows.
Yep.
What other things should we be avoiding?
Picking. So whether it's a bump, whether it's a hair growth, do not pick at your skin. That's going to cause trauma and it's going to cause irritation.
Okay, well, what about, I get those little metal tools from Amazon and, the little popper bumps. I mean, things. Are you judging me?
I'm not judging you. I'm just going to suggest that you ice it instead.
Ice it?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Darn, why didn't I bring you my cryo ball?
Okay.
I'll send you one.
Okay.
So icing helps to reduce inflammation in the skin, right? So the reason you pick is because there's something on your skin that you don't want to be there.
Yeah.
So you think that by picking it, it's going to go away, but really you're irritating it and making it worse. So instead, we're going to ice it to reduce that inflammation so it goes down so you don't have that urge to pick.
So what's going to keep your skin most hydrated?
The right products. So like if someone is drier, you want to use like a creamy cleanser, especially in the fall and winter time. And then that's the one thing that you would switch up. Like fall and winter, you might move to like a creamier cleanse. And then the summer months, more like a gel cleanser. But if you tend to be dry all year round, definitely a cream cleanser and a very hydrating moisturizer.
See, and when I use cream cleansers, I feel like my skin is not that clean. It feels like I didn't do a good enough job. I need to go back in and do something a little stronger.
So you know what I suggest? I always tell my clients, use your cream cleanser in the morning and use your gel cleanser at night. Okay. Because when you go to bed, that's when your skin's at rest. That is, your evening routine is the most important routine, right? So when you wake up in the morning, your skin really should be already clean because you're cleaning your pillowcases, you're switching those out often. And then when you wake up in the morning, a cream cleanser is plenty because your skin should be clean and you're just kind of getting anything off from the night.
So what do you say to people who are using these shea butters on their face or like these, these oils on their face? I see your face. I see your eyebrows are wrinkling, your cheeks are twitching. You're like, what do you say to those people who are like, no, this is my routine and this is good for me?
Okay, so if it's working and your skin is great and you're glowing and you're good and you're happy, then great. If it's not working, then we should dive all in because depending on the skin type, right? Like there's a lot of products that can clog the pores. Not all oils are bad. Not saying that at all, but it has to be the right oil. So like sunflower oil is good, almond oil. You just have to make sure that it's the right oil for your skin. So I love an oil cleanse to remove makeup, but that you can't stop there. You have to follow that up with a good cleanser to get the skin clean. You have to wash the day away.
Of course. So I have another question. I've noticed that when applying makeup, if you do like a silicone based, now normally silicones for your hair, like our customers would hate, right?
Right.
Comexers do not want silicones in their hair.
Right.
Because they are, I guess, like a form of plastic. But it mattifies your makeup and makes your makeup look so good when you put it on your skin. So when people are complimenting me on my makeup, they're like, Kim, I can't even see your pores. I'm like, it's the primer.
Yeah.
Are primers bad for your skin? Like, I don't know the effects of putting actual silicone on my face as a base layer, or my moisturizer, and then of course a silicone as a base layer to all the makeup. Do you recommend that, or what are your thoughts there?
So the only time I'm wearing makeup is typically like for an event or something like this. But our skin is the foundation, right? So if your skin looks great underneath, you wouldn't need all those extra things when you put your makeup on.
Now she said I'm ugly. No, I'm kidding.
No, not at all. No. I'm just saying that you want to focus on your skincare first, makeup second, right? Because just think, like, if you have great skin, it's not going to take you a lot to put your makeup on.
That's true.
And I mean, some people love makeup, which is great. Like, so some people love to contour and do all the things. I'm not that talented to do that. But it doesn't take as much work if you have good skin underneath.
Gotcha. Okay. And how would you define good skin?
Oh, it's in the eye of the beholder, right? So good skin for you is whatever you tell me your goals are. So if you tell me I want my skin to look dewy and hydrated and we accomplish that, you've got good skin.
I see.
Yeah, for sure. Like, so.
Can you really change your skin? Like, I know people are usually treating problems, right? But like, can you really go from like dry skin to moisturized skin, or no, that's just kind of where, for example, I can't really increase the porosity of my hair, right? I can't make the holes on my hair smaller. I can make them bigger by damaging it, but I can't really it's almost like pore tightening or whatever. Like, can you really change your skin in that way? Or is it just, you got what you got to work with it?
So we're talking two things. We're talking skin type, which is normal, oily, dry combination. And then we talk skin conditions, which is acne, rosacea, hyperpigmentation. We can change the skin conditions. You can't really change the skin type, But as we age and get older, we'll notice our skin does change. Why? Because our hormones change, right? We have less estrogen. We have everybody's body is made up of, more estrogen, more testosterone, more progesterone. That changes as we age. So then women are saying, I notice my skin's drier. It's not, it doesn't have that glow anymore. And that's when we start, using products. We talk about lifestyle. Over 40, most women, most in 50s, are starting to go through that whole menopause phase, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I'm hearing this all the time. They're sleeping with fans. Now, so usually the fan is above us, and it's drawing all the moisture out of our skin, right? This just happened with a client. We're doing she comes in every 4 to 6 weeks. She's on all the right products. And she's like, I'm still like, after I leave about a week later, I'm just getting really dry. And I'm like, okay, like walk me through, your lifestyle at night. Tell me what's going on. Are you sleeping with a fan? And she's like, yeah, of course. I'm sleeping with a fan. And I'm like, of course. She's like, yeah, it's hot. I'm sweating. I'm like, okay. So I know I can't take the fan away, right? So I'm like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to add a humidifier. We have the fan above us, but she had 2 fans. She had a fan above her and she had a fan over here. And I'm like, no, we got to lose one of them.
Okay.
And so let's move the fan a little bit further away. So it's still circulating, but I want the humidifier by your bedside. So the humidifier is going to help keep that moisture in the room. And the door needs to be closed, of course, so that it doesn't escape out. And I'm talking about her next facial. She's like, oh my God. My skin is amazing because I'm like, I know you're doing all the right things. She eats good, which is another point, putting the right foods in your body, and dramatic change.
So humidifiers, normally I have one for like my baby or something, right? So that they can when they're sick, they can breathe better and things like that. But then can you get a humidifier that controls temperature of the water coming out or no? Because I remember sometimes it would be cold, air coming out. You want to be warm water coming out of the humidifier, correct? Or no?
It can be cool. If you prefer cool, it's fine. You just need that humidifier going. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. This is really good. Are there other things that people are doing that they maybe don't even realize that are hurting their skin, especially as they age? So I never even would have thought about the fan, but you're so right. Your skin is drier. It's harder to breathe when you wake up. Your nose is dried out. Your throat is dried out. And you're like, oof, okay, I can't do that every night. What are some other things that people might be doing in their day-to-day routines that they don't realize is damaging their skin?
So in the fall and winter months again, blowing that heat directly on your face when you get in the car. Put it on your feet, not your face.
Wait, why can't I put the heat on my face?
Because just think, you're blowing all that air right at your face, right? Drying you out again. You want it on your feet. Think about it. Anytime your feet are warm, you're good. So your feet are warm, that warmth is rising up, you're going to be good. You have heat warmers in your car anyway. So turn the seat warmers on and put the heat on your feet and you're good.
If you've gotten any value from listening to Fox After 40, you learned a beauty tip, you've gotten advice, you shared the episode with a friend, please do us a favor and leave us a review on Spotify and Apple. It goes a very long way in helping us continue to build the podcast. So what are some of the biggest myths or misconceptions you think people of color have around skin and things that they're not doing or products that they're not using that they should be using?
Black don't crack. It is so wrong. It is so wrong. It is so wrong. Do we age slower? Yes. Do we have some melanin in our skin? Yes. But you still need a skincare routine. Have you ever seen someone that says I'll see this all the time, I don't use anything but soap and water on my face and I'm good. And it's like, okay, it's fine. But then you look at their skin and it's like, it's clear and there's no flaws, but it's dull. Right. I personally love a glow to my skin. I want to have a nice glow and a healthy glow.
Yeah.
So that's just one thing. And I think the other big thing is sunscreen. We do have some natural melanin, about 8% in our skin, for the lighter Fitzpatrick of a 4, and then the darkest of dark, a Fitzpatrick 6 would have probably about 13% melanin naturally in our skin. But that's not enough. We need an SPF of at least 30. And that's all year round, especially between the hours of 10 and 3. That's when the sun is at its highest. So that's when you want to be protecting your skin.
I did not realize that the 30 was on the same spectrum of like the whatever the natural percent was. I just thought it was like an arbitrary number of measurement, but it is actually just saying you only have about 5 to 10%, and it needs to be a minimum 30. Wow, I didn't know that. Okay, what about the sunscreens though? So I was looking up. Actually did this case competition one time, and they recommended that we make our own sunscreen. We're not going to do it, but they were saying that there were these ingredients in the sunscreens that make them either natural or not natural. What are those ingredients that, hey, this sunscreen is probably not the best for you, especially if you're of color. You should be looking for sunscreens that have this ingredient, not that ingredient. And then like, how does that show up on the skin? Because sometimes, sunscreens, they can be like a little pasty, a white cast, or should I get one that has, a little foundation mixed into it or some kind of color? Yeah. What do you teach us there, please?
Yeah. So titanium dioxide and zinc are what you want to look for.
Okay.
Okay. And then one of the biggest things is emulsifying your sunscreen a little bit before you put it on your face. Getting it kind of warmed up really helps. And then a tinted sunscreen is always amazing.
What's the routine we should be doing, right? Because it's a lot. That could be a lot of things we're talking about. What are the steps? How many steps to a good skincare routine?
For women 40 and over, I'm going to give you an AM and a PM. Okay. AM cleanse, serum, vitamin C. It's an antioxidant, moisturizer, and sunscreen.
Okay.
Okay.
And then makeup if you add it.
And then makeup. Yep.
Okay.
So sunscreens always last before your makeup.
Okay.
And then at night, cleanse again. Remove your makeup first if you're wearing makeup. Cleanse, a retinol.
Okay.
Your moisturizer. That's it.
What does a retinol do?
Retinol is going to slow down that aging process. It's going to help the cells turn over faster, right? Because as we age, our skin starts to slow down, right? The turnover is slower. So typically your skin turns over about every 28 to 30 days. That's when you're like in your 20s. And then as we age, it slows and slows and slows. That's why everybody says my skin is changing. It's not as glowy. It doesn't look as good as it used to. So we have to add those ingredients to help us along.
Oh, wow. Okay. This is really, really good. And tell us about your brand, Sylvia. So I know you said it was a rebrand and it's a new name.
Yes. So, as running a business, you trademark your name. Pure Beauty Bar was trademarked, but then it was opposed. My attorney said, we can either rebrand, we can fight this, and we probably could win because it was a hair salon. So there was it just didn't make sense, but it costs a lot of money, right? And I didn't want to fight this. I didn't really want to fight this company and spend money that I didn't have to spend. So she said we could rebrand too. So when she said we could rebrand, I said, let's rebrand.
Okay.
So that's when Skin by Brownlee & Co. was born. Brownlee is my maiden name. I am the last living Brownlee in my family, so it's something that meant something to me. And so that's when Skin by Brownlee & Co. was born.
And what kind of products do you guys have?
Yeah, so full skincare line. We focus on acne and hyperpigmentation. My goal is just to help increase women's self-esteem and confidence through skincare.
That's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Last question. So we talk a lot about the skin on our face and the things that we should be doing because everyone's like, the age is determined based on like the neck up, right? But there are things that people forget about, like your hands or your body. And are there things that we should be doing or not doing to the neck and below?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. So when you're doing your skincare routine in the morning, you should definitely not forget your neck, your chest, behind the ears, and your hands for your sunscreen.
Behind the ears?
Yeah. So just think, like if you wear your hair off your face, pull it up, your ears are exposed just like the rest of your face. Most people don't hit the ears for the sunscreen. So then they have a little bit of burn on the ears.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then for body, for sure, just exfoliating like once a week the body with a loofah. I love a good body brush to get that lymph moving. And then making sure that when you put your oils and your lotions on, that your skin is still a little damp. It's going to absorb so much better.
And what about your feet?
Oh gosh, get your pedicures for sure. Once a month, you got to get your pedicures, and not even if someone's seeing your feet, but to feel good, it's just another form of self-care. Or do your pedicures at home, exfoliating those feet, hydrating them, your oils, your exfoliation.
And I'm assuming that thicker butters are okay for the neck down.
Absolutely. Yes. But let me caution you there. Your arms, right? So some people are arm sleepers. So if you're putting a shea or something on your arm and you're acne prone and you're sleeping on your arm, that could cause an issue.
Oh,
so be mindful of that. Yes.
Okay. And then I have the last question. This body acne that sometimes people get, what is that a result of?
Same thing on the face. So some people get it on the face, some people get it on the body. Athletes see it a lot. So if you're an athlete or you work out, making sure that immediately after your workout, 1, that you're cleansing your face, 2, that you remove your shirt, your sports bra, and just swap them out. That'll help tremendously.
Don't sit the whole day with sweat on your clothes.
Please don't. Please do not.
Oh my God. There was this one point where I was working out so much that I would like be all sweaty and stuff and then have to go right into work and then never do anything else. And I washed my face and I changed my clothes and my acne was acting up. I didn't know why. And I was like, oh, it's probably the sweat.
Yes.
And not getting clean right after my workout. So I stopped doing that.
Okay. As long as you learned.
I learned. Sylvia, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Is there anything you want to leave the people with, a message that maybe we didn't get to, or just something you want people to know?
Reapply your sunscreen.
There you have it. Thank you guys so much for tuning into Fox After 40. I'll see you guys in the next episode. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Make sure to share this episode with your girlfriends because we all need better skin.